Well, I think what just got me involved in wanting to help like underprivileged kids is just because I experienced like a lot of the same things that they experienced. Like I grew up in a single parent household, like my dad wasn't really around, and just a lot of the same obstacles that a lot of those kids faced, I faced. And so that's why I really wanted to use just my experiences and just where I have, like what those experiences made me get to. I wanted to just teach them about that too and just show them that even though the obstacles that you go through in life, that you can use that to help you, to further you in life instead of like hinder you. And so that's why I wanted to definitely start something like a program like that because just many of the same things that they experience, like I've talked to a lot of them about different things that they experienced that I went through the exact same thing. And so I just use that to just help them.
So. Now, the program that you started that was helping the young boys and girls that had parents that were incarcerated, how old were you when you?
I started it my junior year. Well, I contacted the owner of the children's home. Like we had to do all this paperwork and all this stuff because I got like a lot of kids from my high school that were in my same grade, and some were younger and older, and I got them involved as well. So we all had to do all this paperwork, fill out all this stuff, and they had to do background checks on all of us and everything like that because we're working with kids, and so. It was a lot of paperwork, but I started my junior year, and the program actually started, like the first time that we actually went to the children's home was during the summer before my senior year of high school, and then all throughout my senior year, and then after my senior year, we did it, and then it's still going on, but just now kids who like haven't graduated yet are doing it. Like we just pass it on each year. Like it's something that continues.
And this is something that you thought of.
Mm-hmm.
Great, that's very commendable. And
yes, my name is Alan Catan. I'm a rising sophomore in college. I'm a neuroscience major, pre-med. I aspire one day to be a physician of some sort, preferably a surgeon. I'm originally from Miami, Florida. My mother is a Haitian immigrant. There's a large Haitian population in Miami. And I have a twin brother, so basically my whole life has just been us three. So my mom didn't have a secondary education for a long time. Like she did a lot of vocational stuff. She went to community colleges. Like she wasn't able to go to actual college because she was raised in this small village in Haiti. So when she actually came here, she aspired for that for us. She wanted that for us, but times were hard because without an education, my mom didn't have the best jobs when I was growing up. So my whole life we didn't live in the best neighborhoods. We didn't go to the best schools. But my mom really urged the importance of an education to us. So that's what we aspired to, and not only an education, but more so how to get there. As far as finding scholarships of some sort, and actually taking advantage of all the resources that we had, because there's tons of resources for people who are underprivileged. In my junior year of high school, I started a program called the Motivated Minds Program, and I started that because I realized that I took advantage of a lot of resources in my community that really helped me, advance to my position where I was at. And a lot of those resources are known to a lot of the other underprivileged kids, and they aren't really available to them. So the focus of this program was basically, I worked with 10 high schools in underprivileged communities. They call them projects because, they're government projects. And I worked with the high schools from them, and I got the students that really needed it, and I brought them to a general location all together where all these resources were available for them every week. So one week, I would teach a class on, teen violence or, self-image or how to improve it. And then another week we'd have an SAT prep course and some sort. And we bus these kids, we give them bus cards and meal cards so they could come to this program. And I started that my junior year of high school. I was 17, I wrote a proposal. I got a research grant, a $50,000 research grant that I had to write up in my late junior year, which helped me start that. Then I contacted the Miami Science Museum, and I just tried to contact as many people as possible because everybody's willing to help. And I funded this program and started it up, and it became a huge program. I think at the end of my senior year, when I left the program, we had 130 students. Usually it would be like 60 kids a week would come to the program. And it was great. I gained a lot from it myself. It's still running in Miami on a smaller scale now because we don't have a director of the program anymore, but it's still running in Miami on a smaller scale. There's still people starting it. And basically, I just wanted to bring to other youth what I felt like I got, just because I was in the right place, I got people to help me, so I wanted these people to help them too. So that's why I started that program.
What is the name of
The program is called the Motivated Minds Program, and it's run out of the Miami Science Museum in Florida, in Miami. And that's what it's called. It's called Motivated Minds because I thought that, I feel like a lot of kids have the motivation, or they either have the motivation already but don't have the resources, or they don't have either. So they need motivation and the resources. And I felt like I started this program and so that they could get both,
I'm going to come back to you, but what is the name of that program?
It was just called the Croswell Children's Home Mentoring Program.
I'm sorry?
Croswell Children's Home, that was the children's home's name. And so we called it the Croswell Children's Home Mentoring Program.
Great. What do you think that you can bring, what would you like to bring to the panel?
As far as the panel, I feel like there's tons of important issues that we can cover for teens, especially like, just scholarships and educational funding. Because I personally know that college is expensive, attending a university like such as Emory, it costs $50,000 a year to go here. And my mother doesn't even make $50,000 a year. So I knew I had to find scholarships and different types of ways to pay for school. And I really think a lot of these kids, there's money there just specifically for them, specifically for people who have hard lives and are underprivileged. So I really feel like I could touch on that, especially also for those who are pre-med and into medical careers. There's tons of opportunities. I was able to do a volunteer internship at the Ryder Trauma Center at the Jackson Memorial Hospital my junior year of high school. So I got to experience and shadow, and there was programs for minorities and underprivileged kids. That's how I got that. So just educating them on the programs. I'd also like, to teach the kids how they could be a service to their community, because, that's important. I feel like, you don't have much, but to give as, your time and your effort to your community, I think that's very important. So things like that. Also, teaching about, how to deal with relationship and domestic issues as far as violence is concerned, or, how you can address issues that you're going through in your life. And just teach you help them learn different technical or vocational skills that they could really use to be more self-sufficient. Because as we grow, we might not have every people to lean on. You might not have a parent, or you may not have, a large circle, but you can, be self-sufficient. That's some things that I had in mind.
Those are excellent issues. What would you like to focus? What would you like to focus on at this time?
Many of the topics that Alan brought up, and another thing that I think is important is just to discuss, he talked about domestic violence, but also just growing up in a single parent household, because so many kids do that and they feel as though they're underprivileged because of it, and really they're not. Because I feel as though I grew up in a single parent household my entire life, and I feel as though most of my friends had two parents, and I just always had a single parent. But I don't feel any less privileged than they were. I feel like I had the same love and attention that they had. So I want to stress that just to people, even though if you grow up in a single parent household, it doesn't determine your fate or make you less than or anything of that nature. And also education, scholarships, self-image, all those things are important.
Thank you. And Miss